Looks like Sylvester Stallone's wife avoids taking a trip to Bust Downtown.
Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today.
Actor Sylvester Stallone recently announced that he was reconciling with his wife, actress Jennifer Flavin. Now, back in August, actress Jennifer Flavin filed for divorce from Sylvester Stallone, and this was a major story in most media outlets. Now, most of these same media outlets are trying to make it sound like your Sylvester Stallone came to an epiphany as related to his marriage and realized that he wasn't going out here and taking enough time to spend with the kids and his wife. And these gynocentric media outlets really want to make it look like Sylvester Stallone came to realize that he really needed to appreciate his wife. But when I take a critical examination of Sylvester Stallone's reconciliation with his wife, Jennifer Flavin, I believe that she also came to an epiphany and realized that she had been blessed with a good husband and didn't want to destroy her marriage because her prospects in the world by herself weren't as rosy as she thought. Now, when it comes down to many of these feminist indoctrinated women out here, they oftentimes buy into the narratives of Madison Avenue in Hollywood that tell them that they have all the time in the world. And because these women are told they have all the time in the world and that they can go out here and find a man at any time, what they believe is that they can go out here and get rid of a husband and replace him with someone else. And your Jennifer Flavin probably thought this about Sylvester Stallone, who is in his 70s, but she didn't really take a critical look at how much older she had become. Now, your Jennifer Flavin is 54 years old, and at 54 years old, and being the mother of several children, she would be at a major detriment if she had to go and enter into the social marketplace and try to find another partner. Now, I believe what happened to Jennifer Flavin is the same thing that happened to actress Lisa Bonet, who is the exact same age as Jennifer Flavin. And what happened with Lisa Bonet is that she announced her divorce from Jason Momoa in the same way that Jennifer Flavin filed for divorce from Sylvester Stallone. But a couple of weeks later, your Lisa Bonet wound up going back to Jason Momoa once she realized how she would have to compete in the social marketplace. Now, the social marketplace for older women is a rough place, and it's a rough place because these older women would have to go out here and compete with younger women. And the prospect of having to compete with these younger women is one thing that basically terrifies a lot of older women like a Jennifer Flavin or a Lisa Bonet, because at 54 years old, these women who are menopausal cannot go out here and compete with younger women who have more to offer younger men and even older men like Sylvester Stallone, because these women are more attractive than these older women, and these women are actually fertile and can go out here and give birth to children. So these younger women have a lot to offer a man, and they have a lot to offer an older man like Sylvester Stallone in some cases. And this is where your Jennifer Flavin had to start taking a critical look at her life, because the lifestyle she was used to would drastically change if she went out here and divorced her husband. Because if she went out here and divorced her husband, yes, she might possibly wind up getting half of his financial assets due to California's community property laws. However, your Jennifer Flavin would have to deal with a diminished lifestyle as related to finances in addition to going out here and having to compete in the social marketplace and have to compete with older women, and not older women, younger women. She would also have to go out here and have to deal with the fact that she would have to enter a completely different social marketplace. And as she was entering this completely different social marketplace where the women are not only younger, more attractive, she would also have to deal with a social marketplace that had completely changed since the 90s when she came out here and met with Slyvester Stallone. So these are prospects that I believe terrified your Jennifer Flavin, who was looking at your Slyvester Stallone, who is a man worth several $100 million, and she knew that she possibly would not find a man on that economic level to go out here and provide her the lifestyle she grew accustomed to. Because at your 54 years old, your Jennifer Flavin is going to be dealing with much older men who have one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel. Moreover, many of those men are already established as married, because once men like Slyvester Stallone go out here and establish their wealth and build their families, those men are staying with their wives. And any woman who goes out here and tries to divorce their husband, they're going to find themselves at a major detriment, because they're not going to find a partner at that point. Because usually what happens in the case of the social marketplace is that the pool of men starts to shrink once a woman starts to turn about 25 or 30, and that pool of men who used to drool over Jennifer Flavin when she was attractive in her 20s are no longer interested in her once she gets in her 40s. And the reason why those men aren't interested anymore in a Jennifer Flavin, who used to be a hottie, is because many of those men have moved on and they've gotten the woman that they want in their life. And because those men have moved on, gotten their own wives, and have their own families, that leaves it where the pool of men starts to dwindle by the time a woman turns 25, and by the time she's 40, it's slim to none. And once a woman hits 54 years old, like your Jennifer Flavin is right now, that's when the pool is practically empty, and the only people who are in that pool at this point are usually these whoremonger males who aren't interested in making a commitment to any woman, or these little young guys who are just looking for a MILF to get with so that they can go out here and put some notches in their belt to say that they went out here and bagged a chick. And again, neither one of these individuals are people who want to go out here and build a family. And again, your Jennifer Flavin isn't in a place where she can go out here and build a family with a man. So the whole prospect of divorcing a man like Slyvester Stallone, who has went out here, provided her a home and a family, this is not a smart thing to go out here and do when you're getting closer to your older age. And your Jennifer Flavin possibly looked out at that world, looked out at those prospects, and realized that it wouldn't be smart to go out here and divorce her husband, because there would be no other man to go out here and monkey branch to. So your Jennifer Flavin, I believe, wound up looking at the world she was going to go back out into at 54 years old, and realized it wouldn't be smart to go back into that world and have to go out here and deal with the few remaining males out here, because those males are single for a reason, and they would give her much more stress and grief than Slyvester Stallone currently has. Now, your Jennifer Flavin, it is alleged that she was upset because Slyvester Stallone spent a lot of time doing work but she didn't really understand or appreciate the work that Sylvester Stallone was doing. Now, he spent a lot of time away from his family, but your Sylvester Stallone was looking to go out here and build, and he was looking to go out here and build wealth for his family so that his family would be taken care of. This is something that men go out here and do, but many women don't really appreciate. They don't really understand how hard the work is that a man has to do to go out here and build the resources so that his children can be taken care of. And even once he passes from this world, they can be taken care of and be comfortable and maintain the lifestyle that they are used to. So she didn't really understand that as a screenwriter, a producer, and sometimes a director, Sylvester Stallone was working long hours. And he was working long hours because he wanted to take care of his family. So she didn't really understand what this man was doing. She thought, oh, he wasn't taking time with the kids, but he wasn't taking time because he wanted to take the time to build something so that they could be taken care of. Things like the lifestyle that they're used to, the private schools, the meals that they were used to eating, the nice house that they had. These are things that a man has to go out here and work to maintain. But sadly, Jennifer Flavin didn't appreciate it until she filed for divorce and then had to really think critically about that world she was going back to. And this is something that the mainstream media won't talk about. They'll sit there and talk about how Sylvester Stallone was the one who got the perspective because they want to buy into the feminist narrative. Oh, the man appreciates the woman. But I believe what happened was, just like in the case of Lisa Bonet, the woman realized that she needed her man, and she realized that she wasn't going to find much better prospects out there as related to a man on the level of a Sylvester Stallone. Now, your Sylvester Stallone is what many call a high value man because he's worth several $100 million, and he's also a man who has gone out here and made efforts to provide for his family, and he's always been trying to provide for his family. Even though back in the day he was out here struggling, he always looked out for his family. So she realized that she had already hit the jackpot, and she was about to throw away the bag. So this is possibly the reason why they wound up reconciling, because again, at 54 years old, she wasn't going to be able to get another high value man, because again, these guys on the level of a Sylvester Stallone, they are usually older at this point. They're already established, and while they're possibly on their way to making plans for the end, you're not going to find a guy on that level out here at all. I mean, at 54, Jennifer Flavin wasn't going to find another dude on that level, and she wasn't going to be able to have that lifestyle that she has grown accustomed to over the last 20 plus years. She's been married to Sylvester Stallone. There's not many guys who can go out here and provide her with that lifestyle. And again, when you start really thinking about life outside of that marriage, that's when women really start to think, oh, wait a minute, I'm about to make a mistake. And thank God they were able to work things out. But most people in the media won't talk about how she possibly was the one who realized she was gonna make a mistake and wind up walking away from the man who was her covering, was her protection, was her support, was her protector, was her provider, because it's better to have a protector, provider, and support and a covering than go out here and be with no covering towards your older age. Because having no covering of a husband in your older age, that's not something many women want to go into. I mean, widows, they have to deal with that because their husband died, but you don't want to willfully and intentionally put yourself in a situation where you have no husband, no protection, no covering. You don't want to wind up in that situation because some feminist is telling you you can do better. Well, you have to count your blessings, because This is what God has given you, and that's what I believe happened with your Jennifer Flavin. She realized that she was blessed by the Most High God, and she realized that she had a good man, but she really realized that she needed to keep that man because she was going to wind up losing in the end, because the only thing in the social marketplace for older women are these losers that are out here, and you don't want to deal with those kind of guys, because those guys basically, they again are the ones that nobody wanted, and nobody wanted them for a reason. So I'm really happy to hear that Slyvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin were able to work out their marriage like Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa were. And I'm just hoping one day your Tia Mowry will realize and appreciate your Corey Hardwick, because you don't want to go out here and break up your family. It's a blessing from God to be married and get the esteemed title of a wife. And it's better to be married and stay together, because it's just better overall. Because yes, you may have periods where you're getting annoyed with each other and may have some issues, but it's better to work those issues out and stay together than to be miserable in your own company. Now, my upcoming book, The Woman Crisis, talks about how divorce impacts women, and if you want to learn more about why many women out here are struggling and suffering, you can pick up The Woman Crisis on Amazon.com in paperback right now, and it will be available on e-readers on November 29th. And if you want to see me make more videos about men's issues, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, all about Nikki, a fabulous first season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the fabulous first season, in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today.